Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I have a really cool unboxing and recipe for you all. In today's video, I'm going to be unboxing this MAGICCOS food processor. Now, if you guys would have remembered, in a few videos ago, I unboxed their bigger food processor, which is a 5.5 liter food processor. This one here is a little bit smaller, so this one is meant more for smaller kitchens, smaller spaces. So if you don't have the space to store something as big as the 5.5 liter one, you can use this one. And if you guys are interested in purchasing this product, all you have to do is go down in my description box right below the video and there will be a link to Amazon and you can go ahead and order this from Amazon.
So I took everything out of the box and I unpacked everything. I just want to show you all how this gets put together and how everything works. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get the base out, and I'll show you guys how it works later when I start to grind my seasonings for my jerk pork. But basically this is the base. It suction cups to the counter so this way it doesn't move around. And you're going to take the driving shaft and you're going to put it right here. You're going to fit it in the middle. And what happens is that bowl will fit on top of that, and then you will put the bowl on top and you're going to clamp it on there. Now, if you just wanted to use the food processor portion of it, you would just take your blade and put it on top of there. But I'm going to show you some of the other adapters that it comes with. So basically, it also has a citrus juicer, like a lemon juicer, orange juicer, whatever you wanted to juice. You'd fit it on top and it would lock in. And once it locks in, you'd put the piece on top where you'd actually do the squeezing with. And once it gets turned on, you'd be able to press down with your lemon or whatever citrus you're using, and the juice will fall into the bowl. And I wanted to show you guys, if you were using the actual blade for the food processor, I'm going to show you guys how you'd put that on. So there's another adapter piece, so you're going to want to stick on the top there. And once you get that down, you're going to want to make sure that the blade side is up, and you're going to see these little ridges in it. You're going to go ahead and just fit it on the top. And once you fit it on the top, the blade should go all the way down. And another attachment that this has is an emulsifying disc. And this is basically if you wanted to make like salad dressings or mix anything with like oil and vinegar. So this way they can emulsify or mix together properly. So all you do is place the adapter down again, and then you'd fit in this emulsifying disc, and then you put in whatever you want in there and you'd blend it up and it would start to mix together really well. And the last attachment that I'm going to be showing you guys today is the grating attachment or the slicing attachment. So basically it comes with this piece on top, and you're going to see the ridges that match the ridges right here. So all you're going to do is hold that down, you're going to fit it into place, and once you feel that it locks through, you have all kinds of choices. You have these different blades. You have one that does grating, you have one that does slicing, you have one that does a very large grater setting, and then one that slices as well, but it does like crinkle cuts if you wanted. So I went ahead and I got the food processor all set up. I washed it out and everything just because it's a new product and it came out of the box. And at this point, I wanted to show you guys all of the ingredients that I use for my homemade jerk seasoning. Again, this is not a traditional recipe. It is not an authentic recipe at all. This is just the way that I like to make it at home and the way my family likes it. So in my plate here is all of my seasonings. I have some thick leaf thyme. Now this is optional. If you have regular American fresh thyme, you can use that as well, or you can use fresh thyme. I'm also using some scallions, some ginger, as well as some garlic. If they look a little bit different, it's just because they've been sitting in my freezer. And I have some lemon. This is about a little less than half of a lemon, and I'm going to be squeezing the juice in. I'm not blending the entire thing. I have one pimento pepper or a seasoning pepper, and I also have a scotch bonnet pepper or a habanero pepper. Now these two are also in the freezer, that's why they look a little bit shriveled up. And I have some culantro. If you don't have the culantro, you can also use cilantro. And for my spices here, I have some Guyanese thyme, dried thyme, and if you have the regular American one, you can make do with that. A little bit of ground nutmeg, some allspice seeds, some ground cinnamon, as well as some black pepper. Now there's two ingredients that I would usually add into my jerk seasoning that I'm not going to add or blend up with all of these things. I usually put in some onion, but being that it's some jerk pork that I'm making, I want the chunks of onion to be fried up in the pan with the jerk seasoning. So I'm going to leave that to the side and chop that up into slices. And I would also usually add a little bit of honey or sugar. What I'm going to do is caramelize the sugar in the pan first and then put in my jerk seasoning, so this way it gives the whole dish a darker color. So once you get the food processor set up, you're going to go in with all of your ingredients. So I'm going to go in with my thick leaf thyme. I'm going to be going in with all of my scallions. I'm going to be going in with all of my spices, including the dried Guyanese thyme, the cinnamon, black pepper, allspice berries, and the nutmeg. I'm also going to be going in with my ginger, and I'm going to be going in with my garlic. And as usual, guys, all of the ingredients and the proper measurements will be left in the description box below the video. And I also have my habanero pepper I'm going in with, my pimento pepper I'm gonna go in with, as well as that culantro. And I'm gonna squeeze in all of my lemon juice at this point. And if there's anything that you want to omit or anything that you wanna adjust just to suit your taste a little bit better, feel free to do that. And I'm just gonna go in my food processor with a couple tablespoons of water, so this way I can blend all of that up very well. I'm gonna put on my lid and I'm gonna lock it in. All right, everyone, so everything is in the food processor now. As you guys can see, there's a little light next to the 0. It's not on right now. If I were to change this and turn it on, it would start to blend what I have in there. So I'm just gonna continue blending this. If you need to add any more water, feel free to do so, but keep on blending it until it's nice and smooth. So as you guys can see, the food processor was very easy to use, very easy to put together, and it ground my jerk seasoning paste very, very well. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pour it out into my bowl and show you guys what it looks like. So the jerk seasoning is done. I've cut up my onions and I've cut up and prepped my pork tenderloin pieces that I'm gonna use. You could also use pork with bone in it, but at this point, we're gonna start the cooking process. So in my pan here, it's heating up on a medium-high heat. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of oil, and you can use olive oil or regular canola oil for this. And then I'm gonna add in about a tablespoon to a tablespoon and a half of brown sugar. So this way we can caramelize it a bit and we can give the pork a really nice color. So I'm just gonna keep on stirring this around until I see that it starts to bubble up and melt really well. After about 3 minutes, once that sugar gets nice and dark brown and bubbly, you can go in with that jerk seasoning that we made. Now all you're going to do is cook this down for about 5 to 10 minutes or until it dries up and you see that it starts to cook down very well. This is what my homemade jerk seasoning looks like after I fried it up with that sugar, and as you guys can see, it's taken on a very nice dark brown color. This is exactly what you want. So at this point, I'm going to be going in with my chunks of pork. Now I'm using pork tenderloins that I've cut into large chunks. I left a little bit of the fat on the outside. If you wanted to, you can leave more fat on it. You can also use a different cut of the pork if you want it to be a little more richer and fattier, but it totally depends on your own preferences. All I'm going to do is I'm going to stir this up very well, get it properly coated, and I'm going to keep on sauteing it or frying it down until the pork releases all of its natural juices and those juices evaporate. After almost 10 minutes, this is what my pork looks like. As you guys can see, the pork has seared down very well with that jerk seasoning, and it's released all of its juices and the juices have evaporated. At this point, once it sears nicely, I'm going to go in with some water to cover it about halfway, and I'm going to let this come up to a simmer on about a medium-low heat, and I'm going to let it cook until this gravy or the sauce thickens up just a little bit. Now, if the color is too light for you, what you can do is add in a little bit of browning or burnt sugar, or you can also add in some cashew. Now, as soon as you go in with all of that water, you're going to go in with half of your sliced onions and reserve the other half for the end of the cooking process. I'm going to cover this and let it simmer down. So after I added in the water, this took about 10 to 12 minutes to fully cook down and dry down and attain this beautiful dark brown color. So what I'm going to do now, once it gets nice and dry, is I'm going to go in with the rest of my sliced onions. I really want a nice little crunch and I don't want the onions to cook down too much. So I'm going to fry this up for just about 1 to 2 more minutes until they soften slightly. Give it a taste for any salt, black pepper, or anything that I want to add in, and then we'll go from there. And just like that, guys, your stovetop jerk pork is done. Again, this by no means is an authentic recipe. This is not an authentic Jamaican recipe at all. This is just something that I wanted to try out, and I really enjoyed the taste of it, and my family loved it. This right here is best served with some fried rice or chow mein, and if you don't have any of that, it could be served with regular white rice or some steamed or sauteed veggies on the side. It was really delicious. You can adjust any of the seasonings and anything you want in it, and I really hope you give it a try. And again, if you're interested in the MAGICCOS food processor that I used to grind up all of my seasonings today, please go ahead and check out my description box right below this video and you can see the Amazon link where you can purchase this product. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. If you're not subscribed yet, come on over and join the Matthew's Guyanese cooking family. And of course, drop those comments down below and let me know what I should be cooking up next. Bye everyone.